What happens after we die? Have you ever wondered, what happens when we die? Is death the end of everything? Or is it just a door leading to another world? Some believe that the soul leaves the body, continuing its journey in another realm. Others claim that after death, everything fades away, leaving only nothingness. But there are also mysterious phenomena that science has yet to explain. Stories of near-death experiences, past life memories, or even the presence of spirits around us. What do religions say about life after death? How are scientists researching this issue? Is there a hidden truth behind all of this? Today, let us explore one of humanity's greatest mysteries: what truly exists after we die. Religious perspectives on life after death. Since the dawn of human consciousness, the question of death and the afterlife has always been a significant part of beliefs and religions. Though interpretations vary, most major world religions agree that death is not the end, but rather a transformation. So, what do different religions believe about life after death? 1. Buddhism, reincarnation and karma. In Buddhism, death is not the end, but just a stage in the endless cycle of samsara. The soul, or consciousness, will be reborn into a new life depending on the karma of the previous life. If one accumulates good karma, they may be reborn in a higher realm, such as the human or heavenly realms. But if bad karma is accumulated, one may fall into the realms of hungry ghosts, animals, or hell. The ultimate goal of Buddhists is to reach nirvana, a state of liberation from the cycle of birth and death, where there is no more suffering or attachment. 2. Christianity, heaven and hell. In Christianity, the soul is immortal. After death, each person will be judged based on their faith and deeds during their lifetime. The righteous and those who believe in God will ascend to heaven, a place filled with eternal light and happiness in the presence of God. Conversely, those who commit evil deeds and sin will be cast into hell, a place of eternal suffering and punishment. Some branches of Christianity also believe in purgatory, a state of purification before ascending to heaven. 3. Islam, the Day of Judgment and Eternal Paradise. Islam teaches that after death, the soul will wait in a state of anticipation for the Last Judgment Day. On that day, Allah will judge all people. Those who are faithful and live according to the teachings of the Quran will enter Jannah, an eternal paradise of bliss and peace. On the other hand, sinners will be punished in Jahannam, the hellfire with eternal torment. 4. Hinduism, reincarnation and moksha. Similar to Buddhism, Hinduism also believes in reincarnation. After death, the soul is reborn into a new body, and its fate in the next life is determined by karma. The highest goal in Hinduism is to achieve moksha, liberation from the cycle of reincarnation and union with Brahman, the supreme consciousness of the universe. Though different in their interpretations, these major religions share a common belief: death is not the end of everything. Every individual must be accountable for their actions during their lifetime, and the soul will continue its journey after leaving the body. But do these beliefs have any evidence to support them? Has anyone truly come back from the dead to tell their story? Spiritual perspectives, near-death experiences, past life memories, and spirits. In addition to religious beliefs about the afterlife, there are a series of strange experiences recounted by many people. Stories about near-death experiences, past life memories, and the presence of spirits. Are these evidence that the soul exists or merely products of human imagination? 1. Near-death experiences, stories of returning from the dead. A near-death experience, NDE, is a phenomenon that occurs when a person enters a state of clinical death, but later revives and recounts strange things they saw. Common features of NDEs include a feeling of leaving the body and seeing oneself from the outside, seeing a tunnel of light leading to another world, a sense of absolute peace or meeting deceased loved ones. In some cases, people report encountering a being of light or experiencing a sense of judgment about their life. Thousands of NDE cases have been recorded worldwide, and what's striking is how similar the descriptions of these experiences are, even among people from different cultures and religions. But does NDE prove that the soul truly exists? Or is it simply a reaction of the brain when nearing death? 2. Past life memories, incredible stories of reincarnation. One of the most controversial spiritual phenomena is cases where children have memories of past lives. Many children between the ages of 2 to 6 have shared stories about a previous life, detailing names, locations, occupations, and even the way they died. What's astonishing is that when researchers investigate, they find that these details perfectly match the records of deceased individuals. Some famous cases include the case of James Leininger, USA, a boy who remembered being a pilot during World War II, providing precise details about the plane, his comrades, and where he perished. The case of Shanti Devi, India, a 4-year-old girl recounting her past life in another village, including the name of her husband and former family. When her parents verified the information, everything was accurate. These stories raise a big question. Is this just imagination, or is there a true connection between lives? 3. Spirits, the presence of souls yet to depart. Since ancient times, humans have believed in the existence of ghosts, souls that cannot leave this world because they still have unfinished business. Many people have reported unexplainable phenomena: shadows glimpsed in the corner of the eye, whispers heard in the night, objects moving on their own without anyone touching them, a sensation of someone standing behind them, but when they turn around, no one is there. Some researchers have even used electromagnetic wave devices to capture strange changes in locations believed to be haunted. So, is this a sign of spirits or merely human hallucinations? Stories of near-death experiences, past life memories, and spirits present challenging evidence for conventional scientific understanding. Some people believe these are clear signs of the soul's existence, while others think they are simply mental tricks. But what if science could truly study life after death? Are there scientific theories attempting to explain these phenomena? Scientific perspective: does consciousness really disappear after death? Religions and spirituality have provided answers about the afterlife, but what about science? Could it be that death is not the absolute end? Can human consciousness exist in some form after the brain stops functioning? Let's explore the scientific hypotheses attempting to decode this mystery. 1. The brain and consciousness. Can our thoughts exist outside the body? According to traditional scientific views, consciousness is a product of the electrochemical activity in the brain. When the heart stops beating, the brain lacks oxygen, and nerve cells gradually die. Consciousness also fades away. However, some studies have raised the question: is consciousness merely the brain's activity, or could it exist independently, like a separate entity? Some scientists, such as Dr. Stuart Hameroff and physicist Roger Penrose, propose the hypothesis that consciousness is not entirely dependent on the brain, but may be a form of quantum information in the microtubules of nerve cells. If this is true, after death, consciousness might not disappear, but simply transition to a different form of existence. A study at New York University found that some patients, after clinical death, were still aware of what was happening around them, even when the brain was no longer functioning normally. This raises the question: can consciousness exist outside the human body? 2. Energy cannot be lost. Can the laws of physics explain existence after death? According to the law of conservation of energy in physics, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. So, when a person dies, which energy continues to exist? Some physicists argue that consciousness could be a form of energy, and after death, it doesn't vanish, but might exist in another dimension or merge into the universe. Another intriguing theory is the multiverse theory, which suggests that when one universe ends, such as when a person dies, consciousness may shift to another reality, much like a parallel world. These theories might sound fantastical, but they reflect an important point. Science has not yet provided a definitive answer about consciousness and life after death. 3. Research on near-death experiences. What does science say? Thousands of near-death experience (NDE) cases have been recorded, but science has yet to fully explain them. Some hypotheses put forward include oxygen deprivation effect. Some scientists believe that when the brain lacks oxygen, it creates hallucinations, leading to images of a light tunnel or the sensation of leaving the body. Brain stimulation. When a person is near death, certain chemicals like DMT, dimethyltryptamine, may be released, creating strange images and sensations. Physiological hallucinations. Some studies suggest that NDEs could be a psychological response, where the brain tries to reassure the person in the moment of approaching death. However, not all NDE cases can be explained this way. There are people who recount precise details about their surroundings while in a deep coma, or even meet deceased loved ones they did not know had died. So, are NDEs a product of the brain, or a sign of the afterlife? This question is still up for debate. Science has yet to definitively prove the existence of life after death, but it also cannot entirely dismiss it. Phenomena like near-death experiences, past life memories, and physical principles have raised significant questions that challenge traditional understandings of death. Will science one day decode this mystery, or will it forever remain an unknown? Perhaps the most important thing is not the answer, but how we live in the present. Because no matter what awaits after death, what we do today is the only certainty. We've explored many perspectives on life after death, from religious beliefs, spiritual experiences, to modern scientific research. But the question remains unanswered. What will happen when we close our eyes for the last time? It could be a new journey, a transformation, or simply nothingness. But one thing is certain, death is not just an end, but the beginning of a mystery that humanity has yet to unravel. What do you think? What do you believe? Share your thoughts, and remember, we only have one life to live, so make it worthwhile.